RGB 7.1 gaming headset, take 2. Edifier contacts me, and Edifier is known for speakers, good speakers, really good speakers. And like, hey, we have a headphone I want you to test. And they didn't quite inform me that it's a G4te 7.1 surround sound USB gaming headset, but I said yes regardless. And now we're here, and I'm going to talk a little bit, just for a split second, about DSP correction, because these are a shining example of what the future might bring for all headphones. I'm not talking about just for gaming headsets. That's a fucking... Gaming headsets are a pit of despair, because you could have things like the GSP 500, the Sennheiser that I reviewed, which was kind of cool looking. No RGB. It did not have that. Although that isn't really RGB, because it's just, there's no selections in the app or anything. It's just rainbows or nothing. So, but there was that headphone which sounded like asshole. PC38X is birthed from that driver, but they didn't, it's just bad. And then you have things like this. So it's like a testing ground for, but the Sennheisers also had that headband like adjustment to make it the clamp. I feel like if you're a headphone manufacturer, and I'm talking about Odyssey, ZMF, especially Odyssey, they're the ones that are actually like, they're sneaking in. You can see them wiggling in if you listen to my crazy theory right now. I think if you can make headphones and you can bring yourself to make a gaming headset, you can dabble in the future of headphone shit, still make money, and possibly mature technologies that will improve listening experiences for everybody, including audiophiles. So what we're talking about is DSP correction on headphones. Now, usually this is reserved for like, or you think about it when you're talking about Bluetooth high-end portable wireless like Bose or Sony's or the new AirPod Max, Apple Pod Max. I don't know. I bought a set, $600. It's in blue. It'll be here next month because I got it in blue because I'm not a boring, sad individual who gets black or white. You'll have to live with it for then. But these headphones sound way better than $75 because that's what they cost. They cost $75. And they're very comfortable too. They, that's another thing. Gaming headsets tend to not look the best, but they are big. And they have these big parts and they have soft pads because, gamers need to use them for hours. What the fuck are the people listening to music have to listen for? 12 minutes? I don't understand why it has to be extra comfortable for gamers. Make all headphones comfortable, you fucks. I'm just speaking to the general audience. Edifier, though, put on these giant pads. It's a nice linear spring load here. I did have to do this to it. A little bit of that, just to get it to like push the back of the pad behind my ear a little better. But now they're like all day comfortable headphones. Oh, I can actually hear the microphone. I'm going to mute the microphone. Which the microphone is red for live. It should have the word live next to it because I'm confused. When you hit a mute button and a red light comes on, doesn't that mean it's muted? And when it's not lit, it's off, but it's the opposite here. Now it's muted and now it's live. So that's how you have to think about it. And I love that this box that attaches to this cable is the biggest, widest, it's like a 1-inch wide switch, is just to turn on and off the quote unquote RGB effects. It says gaming headphone, 50mm driver unit. That's super hot, hardcore. Anyway, back to what I think companies can do and will do, because this thing sounds fucking amazing. Is they could say that they're making a gaming headset. Nobody pays attention. They get to R&D. They get to probe. They get to do troubleshooting. The gamers are going to fucking buy them because gamers eat this shit up. Hi, gamers. You're going to help audiophiles in a few years. You're our lab rats. Because the correction that's in this for this $75, relatively cheap, I'm just imagining what's going to happen when the Bluetooth version of the KPH30Is come out. Because if you remember my Grado GW100 review, which I don't have them down here, they're upstairs, I use those for the live streaming. That was a Bluetooth $250 Bluetooth Grado headset designed for portability. And it's an open back. And it's like, is that going to work? And that headphone proved without a doubt you could have one of the best sounding open backs on the planet for $250, all you have to do is DSP correct, because it had a wire to plug in and bypass the DSP correction. Because with this, what's happening here is USB in, so there's my power, there's my signal. That's all you're giving this headphone. It's not like when you have a stack where you're giving it, oh, here's your digital conversion, and here's your amplification, and then your headphone does whatever. You're giving it power and signal, digital signal, and then it's in charge of the processing, the DSP, the digital signal processing, and then the amplification. And the only reason I think that you could improve on this with audiophilia is because things like the BTR 3K, I would say BTR 5, and I can and still and will say BTR 5 for like $110, but the BTR 3K is so small, it's a better representation. Imagine taking the BTR 3K, ripping the battery out of it, ripping the case out of it, how small that circuit board is that does the digital processing and the amplification. It's so small now. It used to be that I complained about self-powered headphones because you can't. How are you going to fit it into the headphone? Meanwhile, BTR 3K or Ear Studio 100 or the Kudelix Q5K, those are all minuscule units that are in boxes. And if you ripped them apart and took the batteries out, the boards in them are gotta be fucking tiny. A centimeter by a centimeter? Maybe? A little bit more than that? Because you're not even, don't include the jacks either. Imagine how little fucking circuit board you need if there's no headphone jacks, no battery, and no case on like a Kudelix 5K. Fucking thing's minuscule. So now, shove that minuscule thing into a headphone, do a custom DSP correction to repair the drivers, because one of the things DSP can do, and I'm looking at you, iLoud MTM, is take lackluster, not lackluster, but like underperforming things and fucking fix them. And these sound like a $75 headset got the $300 audio upgrade challenge. They're fucking great. They're smooth, they're clean, they're wide. They have, probably if you measured these, and I implore if DMS wants to borrow them because he loves to measure shit. If you measured these, they would measure fucking beautifully. I'm not going to say perfectly level because that's not how things measure beautifully. Beautifully means no spikes, no dips, nothing that upsets the apple cart. They're just, ooh. When you put these on and listen to them, you go, this a gaming headset? McFly? It's like, holy shit. Because this might be the future. Audiophiles in 5 years might be going out to the store to buy a USB connected fucking thing, or it'll probably at that point be wireless because batteries are small, the electronics are small. I mean, we're already doing that. We're already doing that. The AirPods, the Apples, I spent $600 on those fucking Apple things. They're wireless and battery powered. You know what? I bet you they're going to sound as good as these, which is a fucking compliment, Apple. If your fucking $600 portable, the noise canceling is what's going to make that worth the money. But if they sound as good as Edifier G4te's, I'll be fucking happy with that purchase. Because it'll get rid of this wire and it won't look like this. That's all I ask. If you're going to make me a DSP corrected headphone, lean into it, because it's going to be better than regular headphones on multiple amps. But then there's people like, well, like me, who have just fucking stacks of stacks going up, because, you know, this one sounds a little bit richer and warmer, and this one's very linear and clean, and so is that one. And then you got this one here, which is like so much power. If we're willing to go past that, then all we're left with is then a headphone would no longer be one part of a system. The headphone is the system. It's everything. It's the room you're standing in, it's the amplifier, it's the DAC, it's the fucking what, it's everything. This feels like a promo unit for the future of headphones. And you can get it for $75. Because it's not uncomfortable, it's not poorly built, it's giant. This is a giant, it's a nice 3-knuckle with a tapered in pad, which is something like Yaxi does. So they're not memory foam, but they're so soft. And the microphone sounds really good. The microphone will rotate 90 degrees out of your way. It doesn't come out. I thought it came out. I was insisting it came out, but apparently I'm wrong. That would have been a cool way to set it to mute also, instead of having it on the thing. You could just been like, mute, not mute, mute, not mute. So they might be DSP correcting the microphone as well. Like, actually, because that's another thing. You could DSP correct every side of this fucking thing. How's that microphone sound? I don't know, a little tinny. Okay, let me open it up in the fucking hex editor, and we're gonna just drop the highs down here, and then we're gonna bump it at 1,000, nice curve, and then we'll just kill all the super lows, because you don't need to pick up the sound of my fucking heater running in the background like the GoPro is currently picking up, which I put on a wind filter. That's all it is a DSP correction of the microphones. So they can fix every aspect of this. I mean, there's a limit. It's like a car. If you build a car out of plywood and old spare parts from a Mazda, and you know it's running on ethanol, and you give it to me and say, okay, now tune this to be better, I guarantee you I could adjust the suspension and ECU flash the fucking, well, flash the ECU, and I can get it to run smoother and better than a rickety piece of shit. But then there's the other point, which is where you take an actually already good car, like an actual, like this is a fucking nice car, a Giulia or something, Giulia, and you go, hold on, we can tweak this a little bit more to make it a little bit more smooth, because you already have the foundation of solidity. But I think with a headphone, all you really have to go with is drivers and physical dampening, and then you're pretty much good to go. Like, that's it. So you could have a piece of shit headphone. Everyone's had a piece of shit headphone that the drivers were crap, the dampening and design of the actual thing was crap, and therefore it was crap. And yes, you can DSP correct to fix a lot of that, but if you take something that's already fucking stellar, you take a goddamn, you know, pair of TH909s, which have a couple little flaws in them, and you were to self-power DSP correct set of 909s, the world would end in your brain. And there has been companies that have tried to do the DSP correction. They tried to take over the signal path, specifically per headphone, and it just never took off. In fact, I was talking about it on stream yesterday. Oh, fuck, why can't I have the brain of a sieve right now. Yeah, them. You know who I'm talking about. That would try to take a headphone and figure out what they needed to correct, but it's not the same as having full control over the entirety of the headphone, which is what Edifier has here. You're just plugging into USB. That's it. You're done. Your job is done. Edifier took care of the drivers, the physical dampening, the DSP correction, and the amplification. And it sounds fucking fantastic. How does it play games? Fine. Stop asking me why gaming headsets, like, if a headset sounds good or a headphone sounds good in every genre of music you've listened to, the odds of it sounding bad in a game are fucking minimal. There's nothing a game can do that complicated or different music can't already demonstrate to you. So when I listen to that one track I have from Squad, I'm like, oh, gunshot in the distance. That's the same as I'm listening to a fucking orchestra and I hear the, you know, how far away is that trumpet? I'm going to do a video on that, I think, at some point, where I explain what to listen to in music to see how good a headphone's going to be in gaming. That'll be a thing. Getting off on a weird, wild tangent, because I'm not actually talking about the headphones, which, by the way, have a very linear clamp and a decent headband here, and little exposed wires that bounce up and down, and luckily you can shut that RGB shit off. I don't like the shiny plastic that's like, it's already like fingerprints everywhere. People need to get the fuck over this. Can we sign a petition? Because it was blue LEDs. And now, I think I've burned my eyes to the point where I don't even notice them anymore. All I notice is shiny plastic. Do not want. So, what Edifier has done here is hand you a sub-$100 gaming headset that is really just a test bed for what a future headphone will probably be like when you're just buying it. I think most I don't want to encourage that, because I like the game. I like the audiophile game. I like the DACs and the amps, and you could swap a different amp for a different DAC. But if DSP corrections come in on their own, and you could literally just sit there and go, oh, that's better now. It's so much better. Oh, it's just clean and clear. Wait. I guess I would say this is the best sounding gaming headset I've ever listened to. I'm trying to think now, because that's not a very wide berth of units. Because it's just so clean, soft. It's not harsh. It doesn't have any spikes or peaks. It's just, I guess I could say that the low end, like the extreme low end, isn't quite all there. And I think that's just a lack of the physicality. Because like I said, if you have a not so great car, you can't tune it to be the greatest thing ever. You can't make your Honda Civic the fastest car on the earth. The fucking wheelbase doesn't work that way. It's just, you can't change the physicality. A Tesla P100D is amazing, but you could never tune out the weight of the batteries. You can accommodate for it, and you could try to like lift the car as it's turning, but it's still 5,000 pounds. And like the low end on these, the very, very like the super bump, bump, bump is the only thing lacking. That's probably because the driver they're using is not up to spec, and probably the design of the actual headset is just good enough so they could throw in all this fucking magic tech to fix the rest of it. Or maybe they, you know what? They could have very well tuned out the extreme sub bass because gaming headset. Oh, we should probably talk about the software for a second before we move on. So I downloaded it, and it was a huge pile of fucking zip, and it's like, all right, Windows 7, here it is. And I turn it on, and I'm expecting, because it says it in the Amazon thing, which, oh my God, Hi-Fi Sound Feast. 7.1 surround sound and large tuned 50mm driver delivers splendid sound quality, high precision, and audio clarity. Create a wild, not wide, wild soundstage, which presents all the detail on the game world. Blah, 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 blah. And then it talks about the software here. With virtual speaker shifter, equalizer, environmental effects, or custom settings on the functions, max surround sound, microphone echo, magic voice, blah, 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 blah. And in the software itself, this is it. It's master volume and then balance. And then another master volume and then a microphone setting, which is mic in and monitor, so you can listen to yourself, which I had on so I could test the mic. And then there's a setting up here, which it shows, this is the normal thing, which has speakers out too. Capture in mic. 44.1. By the way, this is 1644. That's how you know they didn't spend a lot on the internal DAC, because for gamers, that's all they needed to go into. They didn't need 2496 or anything. So you have to set your foobar or whatever it is to 1648 is as high as it'll go, which is kind of lame. But then it says here, out, EQ, KS, EM, VF, VSS, SMX, which is all the things they were just talking about. The only way to access that is through the Windows console itself, through playback devices, then going into the fucking actual, let go of it. Pause that. Going here, and then going here, and then going to effects, and you have equalizer, environment, speaker shifter, key shifting, vocal fading, and X rear surround max, which if you enable all of them, then lets you, I can't mess with the X rear surround max. There's no settings. Vocal shifting I can mess with. Voice to no voice, which I feels like that's a karaoke thing. Then key shifting I can shift from low to high. So why am I dealing with this? Virtual speaker shifter is got a lot of options. LFE, where you can move it, distance and shit. So these are all, why is it in Windows is my fucking point. We could set it to a padded room. I want to play games in a padded room, and obviously the equalizer is the equalizer. But you turn all these things on, and now it just lights them up here, but it doesn't give you like any sort of way to control it, unless it's because it's Windows 7 and not Windows 10. My laptop for this has always been Windows 7. I'll change it eventually, but not right now, because it still works. So what the fuck is this software? I mean, maybe installing it unlocked those options in the Windows thing, but it's like, why? Because the settings is literally like show tray icon, UI transparency, because I definitely want, actually I have a waifu, so I obviously want it to be see-through, and don't show messages. So I mean, that's I hate software, and the fact that I had to install it on my fucking like 7-year-old laptop that I've been doing reviews on. Actually, has this laptop that old? God, I love this thing. God bless you, Toshiba Ultrabook. You've been running this fucking channel. My channel was built. I will bury that in the yard when it dies, or put it in a plaque. Software is irrelevant. It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't give you that many options. I wouldn't even, don't even bother with like trying to, 7.1 is fucking horseshit. Ha! Like an old Jewish man. Ha! The fucking 7.1. I watched too many Mel Brooks movies. It's got 2 decent 50mm drivers. It's DSP corrected to the fucking nines. It isn't built like shit, although I would change some of the materials because fingerprints and things. The microphone sounds great. If you're looking for a gaming headset, Zeos highly recommends this one. And now, Edifier, I want you to stop putting RGB shit on it. And I want you to make me one that's just an actual audiophile headphone. Instead of being $75, make it $300. Not just because I want you to rip me off, because I want you to use a better 50mm driver. I want you to tune it more. And then I want you to DSP correct the shit out of it. Tune it physically more, use a better driver, and then DSP correct it. Because I don't think the end user, I don't think me, can do the DSP sort of shit that you can do, because you have microphone rigs to test things. You can tweak and physically fucking fuck with it until it's perfect. And that's like what Apple's doing, and that's like what fucking the Sonys are doing and the Bose are doing. I just want someone else doing that, but not for like, oh, I'm going my Bluetooth. First of all, no one's getting on a fucking plane anymore. So I'm sure the sale of noise canceling headphones has either dropped or gone up, because you can't leave your kids anymore. So that's another reason to get a noise canceling headphone. But I like where this tech is going. It's just living currently only in either a ridiculously expensive, fancy, small travel headphones, or it's sneaking its way into the gamer headphone scene. And there needs to be like a middle ground. There needs to be like, okay, here is, and it'll probably be wireless, but because when wired is fine. I don't have no problem with a wired thing. Having it be USB used to be a turnoff, but now I'm like, oh, let me see what they can do. Because now I've given you entirely the control over the headphone. It's like with the Swans, the D1090s, the ones that you guys haven't seen the review of, or the Brew Carts. You feed them a digital signal, and that's it. They do the corrections. They do the fucking amplification. They're in charge of everything. And you just sit back and enjoy it. And that's, again, some people's like audiophile code, but I want to see what a company can do front to back. Just give it to me all the way. So sound demo for these, by the way, in the description. It should, I think I did it a while ago. I did it when I first got them because I broke them in and then I just used them. Should give you a semblance of what this can do. That wallpaper in the description. If you like this channel and you wanted to stay being this channel and not fucking disappear off the internet, because God knows what YouTube and everything else, please support me on Patreon and Subscribestar, where if anything does happen, we can go and figure out everything else out after that. Again, I think about streaming on Pornhub or being a reviewer on Pornhub. I don't think they'll just allow you. I think you have to like prove you're 18 first, which will be kind of interesting. So Patreon and Subscribestar, $5 tiers get you into the yard sales, which happen from the 1st to the 10th of every month. These will probably be in the yard sales. Not like you need to like save money buying this thing, but I'm also going to throw a couple of these stacks in there. At least the Atom stack for sure will be in the yard sale. So, join for $5, offer me $50 or something, or $50.19, because I don't want them to match. Pick a random number. And then from the 1st to the 10th, you bid, and when you win, I ship. The only problem is now international shipping is so fucking fucked up from COVID. I have to pay 66% of the shipping, and I ask that you pay 33% of the shipping, which will still be a lot because shit is expensive. So if you are an international viewer and you're thinking about joining for the yard sale, just know shipping is fucking expensive. After that, you get to see these reviews early. So if there's a mad rush on Edifier G4te's, you'll get the first dibs on it. If you'd like to ask me questions on platform, please check out the $10 behind-the-scenes Telegram chat, where I answer everyone's questions with my mouth hole, and everyone there is super nice and they help each other out too. There's also other resources. There's Hi-Fi Guides and the Hi-Fi Guides forum, which the Hi-Fi Guides forum is literally exploding. So get up in that. Where is it? That's Ropey XL. Where is it? That's Hi-Fi Guides, the site, which helps you buy headphones. And there's the forums, which I'm spending over $200 a month on Amazon AWS to host this, because it's getting bigger. It's like growing. It's like a tumor that costs me money, but you guys love it. I love it. I'll be there. We are probably going to put some banner ads somewhere. There's some companies that I care about. Apos, maybe Hi-Fi Go. We'll see if Linsol wants to throw one up there. Just gentle, because right now there's no ads at all. So that $200 is made up just from the affiliate things that are in there. But yeah, no. Wallpapers, Patreon Subscribestar, Edifier fucking headphones, Cats and dogs living together, raining blood, whatever that's. Oh, I wish I would have that entire fucking speech from Ghostbusters. I don't. Anyway, I'm going to go put this on one last time. It's the last time you're going to see this color. It's it. We good? Great. Okay. I shut it off now. Goodbye. That's it. End of it.